ahead of time in studying, launching studies is this. This is a part of the larger cause of global security, and national security is a subset of global security. But coming down to our kind of a professional aspect of security, perhaps the most transformative change in the concept of security is that it is no more a relegated function carried out by some hired guards and security officers, but in fact, it is truly to be treated as a mainstream function. And this can be understood more clearly if some of the features or some of the things which together account for mainstreaming of security is gone through. इसको दबाया? इसको करना है? Okay, right. इसमें करो. कहाँ हुआ? इसको? बड़ा हुआ? All right, okay. Okay, right. You know, a word about, defense and security should always be mentioned. Both denote a concept of protection, but they are not synonyms. Defense is a protection against an open attack, open warfare, and security is protection against covert offensives of the enemy. So the entire domain of security in basic terms should be understood as an attempt of the adversary to attack the three assets of any organization or the nation: the physical assets, the manpower assets, and protected information against covert attacks. And therefore, it's not difficult to understand that the security business runs through the entire length and breadth of the organization and requires correspondingly, this attack on physical assets and manpower and protected information is described by these big words called sabotage, subversion, and espionage. I've not used those words deliberately, but certainly response has to be in terms of physical security, personnel security, and information security. Now, an entirely new dimension has been added to information security because everything is digital. And you already know that social media has emerged as a major instrument of combat. Misinformation, information warfare, they can even tend to affect the outcome of a democratic election. And to that has been added the complicating advent of artificial intelligence. And therefore, I think the promise and perils of artificial intelligence is come up as a new subject for study in the frontier of security. I mentioned that security is an integral or complete looking concept, and all segments have to be taken care of. And therefore, this is this clearly is an evidence that mainstreaming is the underlying feature of security. Now, if the adversary is doing something in secrecy, then the only way you can mitigate is through advance information about the threat, and that is the definition of intelligence. So, information is the anchor of security. Intelligence is the anchor of security, and therefore, all major business houses have quickly realized that they must invest on establishing a central setup in their organization for collating and analyzing reliable information. And intelligence is needed not only for national security, but for business security as well. And therefore, the business intelligence concept have come up in a big way. The main conceptual point about security, which is now being realized, is that it has to work on the authority of the top man. The chief of security knows perhaps a little more about the organization than the top man is, and therefore he is a very good instrument of support and oversight on the organization for the top man. And also, suppose a senior in the organization has been found to be on the wrong side of security, deliberate violation of this thing, then unless the security chief is aligned to the top man, it will never get, how will it be tackled? How will the top man come to know? And along with this, I'm very happy that the word leadership in terms of, in the context of security has been used, because I believe that security has a leadership enhancing role. We believe this in IB because three features of our working are based on the acknowledgement of the leadership potential of anybody at any level. This is, one is knowledge-based decision making. This is the mandate of the age of information. You cannot say, I'm taking this decision because I have some charisma or right of inheritance to be a leader. None of this. It has to be quite simply based on reliable information. And in an organization like IB or in any other this thing, delegation of decision making becomes a part of it. I mean, IB is a man in the district, equivalent of a sub-inspector, ACIO 2. If he is noticing something which has to be acted upon, he cannot look back on his shoulders and wait for the clearance to come. The decision-making insecurity is a built-in thing which adds to the quality of leadership. And another, this thing is, a good leader anywhere does not let any confusion about credit sharing take place. And I can say on authority that a huge organization like Intelligence Bureau, there will never have been any confusion about credit sharing, because that is what a successful leader ensures. this is a point I've added to my this thing, because I think time has come where security needs to be incorporated at the level of policy. And naturally, it should be one of the determinants of organizational ethics and management system. Some of the features of successful management I just described, how the leadership, successful leadership, should run an organization. Another issue which not in the government, but it should be realized by those who take decision, that security does not come cheap. It requires planned funding, and that's why it represents the mainstreaming. But an interesting thing that I can say on the basis of how IB functions is the cost-effective security is the best security. Even if you have resources, you run security best if you make it cost-effective. Simple thing is that if three operators have been used, and it realized that 2 will be enough, so why use 3? If something is achieved in 4 steps, being achieved in 4 steps, you realize that 3 steps are enough. So you save on manpower, you save on energy, and you produce more efficient functioning, because what is the definition of efficiency? It's a productivity per unit of resource. So you can see that cost effectiveness is the last, and this is what today's conclave is all about. The ultimate mainstreaming of security lies in the fact that it requires contribution of all members, high or low, of the hierarchy, and hence it was a traditional function of the security setup of any organization to run